What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Come On Knows. I'm your favorite host, bringing you all the news, and your job is to let me know if it's factual or capital. Today we have Stephen A. addressing and responding to his confrontation courtside with LeBron James. And before we get into that, I want to say this real quick. This is why Jordan is better than LeBron James. But we're not here to argue that. You know what I'm saying? If you have a problem with that, you need to take that up with your mammy. I said what I said, and y'all just have to deal with it. But other than that, let's get into it.
Friday. Thank you for being with us. Obviously, Stephen A., an incredible game last night in L.A. You were in the building, and we'll get to what that means for the Lakers and Knicks in just a moment. But, S.A., there was a moment in the game that we want to address.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC.
Oh, come on, Stephen A.
That's what he was doing.
Come on now, Stephen A. You supposed to press him back. That was the perfect time to press. I would have told LeBron James, do something. And what? That's why your son's sorry. Yeah. What you finna do in front of everybody courtside during halftime, during the game? Nothing. You trying to bully me for what? Use your stature, use your height, and talking crazy to me courtside during the game. Obviously, this is a conversation for another time. But you want to come in and just say something real quick and try to bully me into a conversation. Come on now. I would have pressed him, Stephen A. Now, if it was after the game, I would have told you haul ass and don't get into altercation. But it's halftime. LeBron James ain't finna do nothing right now. Come on now. That's not the time to be humble now, Stephen A.
I thought long and hard about this over the last few hours because I had no intentions, Molly, of talking about this at all.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it was a one-on-one, I wouldn't say a conversation, but it was a one-on-one confrontation. But then I wake up and everybody from ESPN and my agent and everybody else were sending me that this thing had gone viral. And so ultimately it was unavoidable, and that is why I have to discuss it now. Me. That was a parent. That was a father. And I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard. By all accounts, he's obviously a wonderful family man and a wonderful father who cares very, very deeply about his son. And based on some of the comments that he had heard, or shall I say, I think he thought he heard, he clearly took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it. For the record, his agent and friend, Rich Paul, has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number. LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to. He never called, because had he called and wanted to talk to me, I would have accepted that call. Had he wanted to see me, I would have flown out and I would have seen him and I would have had a conversation man to man. But that is not what he elected to do. Instead, he elected to confront me while I was sitting courtside. Ari Emanuel, the head of William Morris Endeavor, one of the agencies that represents me, along with Larry David, was sitting courtside. I was with them for the game. And he walked right up to me and he said what he had to say. And apparently he feels like I was slighting his son. Now let me tell you what I feel. What I would have said if we were in a different environment, because I was not going to engage in a confrontation at that particular moment in that setting. But if we had had that conversation, I would have said to LeBron James, I never would speak negatively about your son. I was talking about you, meaning you, LeBron James. I have nothing but the best wishes for Bronny James. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope that he flourishes into an NBA star. Usually in other sports, we see all-stars, and on occasion, we'll see their children become stars as well. That doesn't really happen with the NBA. I sincerely hope he's the exception. By all accounts, he's a wonderful kid. And I don't know anybody who roots against him, and it certainly isn't me. But in the same breath, at the time that we were talking about him, he was percolating to such a degree that the Bronny James stories had gone viral. And so we had to talk about it. And when I said the things that I said, I wasn't talking about Bronny James because my attitude is he's a rookie. It's going to take some time for him to get himself together. He'll be just fine, especially with J.J. Redick and the staff coaching him. I was talking about the position that he was put in by his dad, because LeBron James has been on the record and he has said, and I'll read the quote here. There was a quote that he gave in February of 2024. The work and results will ultimately do talking, no matter what the size. If y'all don't know, he doesn't care what mock drafts say. He just works, earned, not given, etc., etc. But he also had said that his son could play on the Lakers right now, and he was better than half the dudes in the NBA. In the aftermath of all of that, he instructed everybody before the draft that y'all want me, draft Bronny. Wherever Bronny is at, that's where I'll be. I'll do whatever it takes to play with my son for a year. It's not about the money at that point. My point months ago was that because of who you are, one of the top 2 players in the history of basketball, in my estimation, there's an immense amount of pressure that comes with that for his son.
So I'm going to go ahead and say this. So here's the issue. The issue is Stephen A. is a sports commentator that they pay to sell out on his own kind, to bring down the culture, bring down BLK, man, any opportunity given. He's against the culture. He comes on here, he sells out, he coons, and he's a sucker. But he's a part of the machine. He's a part of the program. This is a machine. You have sports commentators and you have the NBA stars, you have the players. See what I'm saying? And his job is to bring down certain players, predominantly black. You know what I'm saying? So he's just doing his job. This is what he's good at. He's good at doing this. Now, on the other side of the coin, we have something that we never seen before, which is LeBron James, an NBA star who has so much influential power in the NBA. Jordan is better, but this is the first time that we've seen someone that has so much influence on a team, meaning like he's able to pick who comes on the team. We ain't never seen nobody have that kind of power before. We ain't never seen nobody tell the NBA that wherever my son goes, I'ma go. Yeah. Y'all gonna bring my son on this team and we gonna play together for a year. I don't care about the money. Who has ever said that before? Only a person who has immense influence and power is able to say that, which he does. Now, what happens when you have a guy that they pay to be a part of the program and he has a certain job to do with a guy who thinks he's above the program? LeBron James thinks he's above the program. This is what happens. See what I'm saying? LeBron James comes to Stephen A. for doing his job that he's been doing, being a sucker and a coon and a sellout, and say, hey, man, I know me and you have our differences, but don't let that come between. Don't bring my son into this. And Stephen A. position is, dog, they pay me good money to talk trash, talk cash money trash about your son. You think I'm finna let this go? You think I'm finna let this opportunity go? You at all people? I can't target you because you're LeBron James. The NBA, the programming favors you. See what I'm saying? So I gotta attack your son. Your son is not living up to the expectations that you said under your power, that you brought on the team, that you said he was better than every other NBA player in the draft or in the league. So my take is, man, what are we doing here for real? I don't know what kind of club, I don't know what kind of cahoots or groups y'all belong to outside of what we see on TV. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what cult y'all are a part of. But we got to stick to the programming. There's a script that needs to be played. LeBron James is getting besides himself in this script. All because it's his son. Stephen A. just doing what Stephen A. does. So that's my take. Y'all let me know if that's factual or capital.